you were the man of the moment this past weekend. Everybody's talking about Berry Rukoro. Is he a member of NUDO? Some are saying he's not a member of NUDO. And apparently, you were saying your attitude when you went into that Congress is that it's either Berry or nobody else. Your response?
You see, Trevor, of course, people will have to find excuses as to where they failed to organize such an important platform of the NUTO party. An event that only happens once in 5 years. An event for which the administration and management of NUDO had 5 years to prepare and yet failed. Nobody spoke to me. Nobody, at no stage did I ever say me or nothing.
Yeah. Apparently, supporters were chanting, saying it's Berry or not.
No, it's not my supporters.
Yeah.
It was one person by the name of Rirwa Komeheke who posted this, and which the president of NUDO used as an excuse as to why. But mind you, Rirwa is not even a delegate to the Congress. He will have been in no position whatsoever to disrupt the Congress because he will not have been in the room. So for the president of an organization to use that as an excuse is really petty. Secondly, the police was there in a very jovial mood, saying that this is the most peaceful Congress they had to oversee in terms of there was no violence, people were mingling. We had our people camped at Dobra purposefully to avoid them getting intoxicated and coming there in a disorganized manner. My people were the most organized.
And it was a good number.
Of course. In fact, what happened is, because we were outside town, nobody had an idea of the numbers that we had. Only then, when they realized that no, the numbers are speaking for themselves, did they then call, at 7:45, call a National Executive Committee meeting.
On Saturday.
1 hour 45 minutes after the supposed commencement of the Congress, they called a National Executive Committee meeting at which the president of the party unilaterally cancelled a Congress that was convened and called for by the National Council, which I, at this stage, do not think is legally correct, constitutionally correct to do so. Those are the things that we will look in as we go further.
Absolutely.
But maybe to share with you what we suspect the real reasons are. We think the party never, for these last 5 years, intended to organize a Congress and to have a new leadership elected.
Why do you say that?
One, in a normal administration, when you plan to have such an important platform, you budget for that event to take place because it costs money. NUTO had to postpone this Congress 3 times this year because of a lack of funds. The Congress of NUTO was supposed to happen on the 3rd of March. It did not happen. And then it was postponed to April. It did not happen. And then it was postponed to now, last weekend. It still did not happen. Because of all the first 2 postponements because of funds. So the party did not, for 5 years, plan both just the general plan and a budget to plan to organize the Congress. Two, for you to have a Congress, there must be delegates coming to the Congress. Until now, as I sit here in this room, NUTO does not have a master list of Congress attendance. The people who must come to the Congress. 2 hours after 1800 hours, the supposed time of the commencement of Congress, the party was still registering new members, new delegates at the gate from a car, issuing membership cards. How do you produce a master list 2 hours after commencement of
because it must be scrutinized by,
it must be
especially by
it must
candidates.
be published.
Yeah.
A master list must be published. The stakeholders must have an opportunity to study it. And if there are any irregularities, they must have the time and possibility to object against it. That did not happen.
Yeah. Let's talk about your membership, Berry.
No, let's exhaust the
please
the reasons why.
Please proceed.
I'm saying the party was not did not in any way plan to host a Congress. In terms of Article 16.2 of the NUTO Constitution, the party must, the president must submit a president's report. The Secretary General must submit a Secretary General's report, which include the financials of the party. These two documents, very important documents, must be submitted to the NEC, to the National Executive, for consideration.
So Mr. Kawandenga, there's been so much friction and bickering in the run-up, the weeks and months before Congress. Would you say, as the leadership, you've done enough to attend to these concerns, which some people claim could have perhaps avoided what happened on Saturday?
Well, for starters, I want to put the record straight before coming to your question that there are some that are saying, and especially Mr. Beriru Koro, who has been on your program, who said categorically with the full confidence that he had that we did not have a Congress master list for the delegates. Now, I don't know what is this, because this, what I'm having here, is a Congress official delegate master list 2024 NUTO Congress. Right. If you turn the last page, and in fact, if you look at this, and you can look at this document, there are two signatures on the document. It's mine, and it's the one of the Congress Organizing Committee chairperson, who was Honorable Hukura, the constituency councillor for Omatako. So when I handed over this from my office to the chairperson of the Congress Organizing Committee, that was to showcase that we are ready for the Congress to start, right? Yeah. And if you turn at the last page, you will see that there are 759 delegates that we were expected to be in that Congress. Yeah. So let there not be illusions, really, that the leadership of this party was not prepared to hold a Congress. Even if you see here, these are name tags, right? Mine and someone else of also that was supposed to be in that Congress. So you cannot make these name tags without a master list. Now, for those that are saying the leadership is to be blamed for the fiasco that happened there, the Congress did not even start, right? Yeah. The Congress should start. The reports alluded to that we were not having reports to present to the Congress. How did they know this without the Congress have, even started, to say the least? So our contention is that from the side of the party, now to come back to your question, from the side of the party and the party leadership, we did everything within our powers to make sure that the Congress goes out smoothly. Naturally, what happened when you go to a Congress is that this list is there, and every delegate that comes in must be vetted against this list to make sure that his or her name is on the master list. Yeah. And once they are inside the hall, the leadership comes, they open the Congress, deliberation starts, and this did not even happen. So to now, who is to be blamed now? Is it the leadership or those that were causing this chaos outside? And Mr. Rukoro in particular, who brought the whole Katutura actually to the venue. Everybody that was not even on this list now demanding to get into the Congress in order to elect him as Nuto president.
But how do you know they were not on the list? I thought you said the proceedings has not commenced.
Well, the proceedings have not commenced. But as a Secretary General of the party, you will know what is and who's who in this list.
Yeah.
Because we know each other, right? So now if you see 300 people standing there, some of the faces that you know, they are not even delegates to the Congress. What are they doing there?
Yeah.
Yes. So my contention, therefore, is that we we were prepared to go on with a Congress procedurally, but unfortunately, it was not allowed to happen.
Yeah.
Yes. So to your question, I think we have done everything possible within our powers to make sure that the Congress proceed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some have also spoken on the issue of security at the venue, because there's been assertions that if the organizing committee could not ensure sufficient security for the Congress to take place, was there even security for the delegates who then attended the convention?
Well, there is one institution in this country that one has to go to as a registered political party, especially when you have your Congress, and that is the Namibian police. And I want really to put it categorically very clear here that the Namibian police, as far as I'm concerned, have disappointed us as leaders of this party. For whatever reasons, I don't know. Because prior to the Congress, we had on social media slogans like "No Berry, no Congress." We had social media posts that says everybody must go to Ramatex so long as they are Nuto members, and no police will remove them without a court order. This came from the chief campaign manager of Berry Rukoro on social media. So we alerted the police when we read this to say, Namibian police, we are going to have a Congress. From this social media, videos and whatnot, we are deducting that there might be attempts deliberately to disrupt this Congress. Can we please have your protection at the Congress so that we can continue, so that leadership can be elected as they are supposed to be elected?
Therefore, our challenges with the fishermen is defiance, where they feel that the quota belongs to the government. They need to be paid whether they have worked or not, and that they will not render any land-based employment. And they will start to work. So most of these fishermen have then went back to Okapare and are not working as we are speaking right now.
Okay, Anastasia, just to get clarity, you have 255 fishermen that you have taken in, is that correct? And they are not rendering any service at all, and they are expecting to be paid every month, is that correct?
The amount which was allocated to us is 235 fishermen. We actually have 234, which passed. One of the fishermen, or one of our ex-MPs, passed away earlier this year. Therefore, from the 234, about only 20 to 25 of them are actually currently participating in actual work. The rest is not doing any work. They refuse.
So how much does it cost you monthly to reimburse these workers?
It costs us about 1.7 million monthly to reimburse these employees.
Do you have the money, and where do you get, I mean, do you really have the money? You were talking about the quality of the fishing quota. If you weigh that up, do you really have the money to pay these workers, and have you approached government to deal with this matter?
We have approached government since the whole year, if I can put it. Every month we are writing letters to the government, particularly the Ministry of Fisheries and the Ministry of Labor. They have been assisting us in addressing this matter, but until now, we did not reach a fruitful resolution to the matter. So it is still being addressed through the government, and we are waiting on them for finalization of this ongoing labor unrest and disputes. Where do we get the money? The quota is only a certain value, which under consideration, we have then subjected this quota with our technical partner, and we have then been paying these employees from this quota consideration fees which we have received from the technical partner. However, if you have now to look at the cost of the quota or the income from the quota, and it is not contributed, or there's no contributions coming in from the employees, from the investments, it is indeed difficult in remunerating or continuing to remunerate these employees who are not giving their services to the company.
You were talking about Occupare. Can you tell us what is significant about Occupare?
Occupare is actually a stadium. It started the strike in 2015. So in 2015, when they started there, so the Occupare is actually just stadium. It's just in Oshivambo, it's called Occupare, but it means stadium. But it is now known for that because that is actually where these fishermen meet, have their daily meeting and operations.
How, Anastasia, can you share with us, how would you say has this situation impacted your operations as a company?
The situation has impacted our operations as a company very, very negatively. As indicated also to the ministries, we have done vast investments in order to secure or to create this employment for the fishermen. However, we are not getting our return back because the fishermen have decided not to participate in any land-based work.
So in the meantime, what have you done to make sure that you have people on the ground, since these fishermen are not willing to do land-based work in your value addition factory?
Apart from the value addition factory, we have also established the industry fishery supply chain, where we have acquired containers, products, and all that, where it's actually need employees to be working towards this in order to return the investment and also to be able to operate as a company. In terms of the factory, it was now standing. Therefore, we engaged the Ministry of allocate us at least a few start the trial and error process of the factory, which we are currently running because we have been waiting, but no solution to sight, and the time was running out to move in terms of this process of ours.
Anastasia, you have also recruited women in the meantime. How have they helped you improve the situation? Could you talk to us about that, and what are the qualifications that they are bringing to the table?
Okay, we have appointed women from the Ministry of Labor through their NES program. This is a program which is designed to put or to indicate those who need employment, and also where companies such as us then can go and get these skilled or semi-skilled employees. Now, what they have contributed so far is that at least we managed to start the factory in itself, but most of these women which we have taken are young. They actually need skills, so we are currently busy with a lot of skills transfer. So we are not actively yet, the output is not there. We are not there yet where we want to be. However, we are busy training them for the desired output.
Once I join the forum, what would change?
Look, I mean, you are joining a community of practice of people that you can draw from, people that you can ask any question from, and therefore you are able to draw from a great resource. Other than maybe if something that you have read up on or you went to school, you have the sort of theoretical underpinnings, but you might not really have the context, and therefore you have this resource that is availed to you. And you are getting this resource that will be able to assist you without criticizing you unduly, but really just looking at issues as they come and be able to advise you meaningfully, so that you are able to take back that particular advice back to your organization and see how you can implement it effectively.
Yeah.
For instance, the issue of organizational design is one that a lot of public relations officials are struggling with. And we are unable to serve our stakeholders simply because of where I find myself in the structure. You know, I'm always a third or a fourth, information source, because the primary information source will be the CEO, and I report 3, 4, 5 people down the line.
Yeah.
And so issues of organizational design and how do you then go and advocate for yourself, I think those are things that you can draw from this resource of people that have been there before you, that have fought similar battles, and they can advise you, this is how I went about it, this is how I showed and demonstrated that there is value in a proper organizational design that really advocates for the role to have a meaningful say around the decision-making table.
You spoke of professional development earlier on, and there's always been this perception, whether real or perceived, that PROs tend to be more reactive to things and happenings that occur. How would a forum of this nature help address this type of perceptions?
I think it's a perception that we are alive to, and not misplaced in reality, because it goes with experience, it goes with orientation of organizations. Are they open? Are they transparent, for instance? And those are quite, what are the values of a certain organization that you are representing? There could be also, personal beliefs of certain individuals within that entity. Mind me, there are people that believe that media are not supposed to be engaged at all. You only engage them when you have an event. You only engage them when you have something to say. So we need to be dealing with those entrenched sort of beliefs. When do you want to have a sound media relationship? And that will take a long time to educate our organizations and the institutions that we represent to be more open. And I think in the public space, we have seen a transformation on the transparency front. But also we are seeing, for instance, the Access to Information Act, once it's fully gazetted and operationalized, the media will, for instance, then, and other stakeholders will have access to institutions than ever before. That will obviously help. And to the point around, whether we are reacting or whether we are being proactive, I think once we open up the space to say, look, as a country, our ethos are transparency, our ethos are accountability, and those are well enshrined, I think the logical conclusion or the logical thing that will follow is then let me position myself to make sure that I deliver information to my stakeholders, not only when they are demanding it, but being proactive and saying, what is the information that is at my disposal that will be required by a particular stakeholder? How do I make that accessible to them? Once we start doing that, then it demystifies this whole thing. It takes away the secrecy. And therefore, when the media is calling you about a particular thing, it's no longer let's try and hide in a corner, but that information is already available in the public domain. Or if it's not available, I can quickly disclose it in the manner that I need to. So it will take some time for us to mature in that space. But to your earlier question around professional development, I think these are issues that we can discuss internally as a forum. These are standards that we can start developing as a forum to say, look, these are the parameters in which you need to work. These are the basics that are required, and these are the principles that support the work, so that we are able to deal with those perceptions more meaningfully.
Yeah. Now, I know some of the queries that I saw online following the launch of the forum was someone asked, is this going to be something whereby if I want to enter the industry, I need to apply for licensing or certification?
Yeah.
How will it work?
Yeah. We are not there yet. The Minister of ICT, when she launched the forum, put this challenge to the membership to say, look, in other professions, there are some certifications that happen before you can practice in any profession. The law is one where you need to go for legal education and things like that. But those are mandated by an act of parliament, or there is an established law that supports that, whether it's in the medical field or in the legal professions. What we need to be mindful of is that obviously for a professions like this, I think what we can start doing is put a self-regulatory regime in place